Hi, I'm Kim Moser and I'm Congressman Scott Rigell's Communications Director. And we've been getting so many phone calls and emails and letters asking us what's going on in Washington and how does the Congressman feel about the debt debate. Well, I sat down with Congressman Rigell just this morning and we walked through a whole host of your questions, and I want to share those answers with you right now.
The deficit is the difference between our revenues and our expenses. So the deficit has to do with our annual budget situation. And recently, in the last few years, it's shot up. I think of it like a ski ramp. It's exponential, and our deficit will surely exceed $1.5 trillion for this fiscal year. The debt is just the cumulative deficits through the years, and that too looks like a ski ramp. We're about $14.3 trillion right now, and it's just very sobering. Our country is overpromised and overspent. It's principally a spending challenge, and it's very difficult to arrest that trajectory that we're on. But I really believe this is a defining moment for America, and that's why I'm committed at this point to doing everything I can to balance this need to not default on our debt, which is a serious matter, and also to assure and absolutely prevail in this effort to stop the track of spending that's threatening the very foundation of our country. I'm very proud of the House of Representatives. We put forth the Path to Prosperity, the House Republican budget. We've been voting on it on the appropriations bills. It's very specific, and it would lead America to a balanced budget over 25 years. For those who kind of take a shot at us and say it's extreme, it has us borrowing more money for 25 years. It's a very gradual process. And in contrast, if you look at what the Democrats have put forth, or really I think failed to put forth, is a specific plan that's been scored by the Congressional Budget Office. And the Congressional Budget Office said recently, we don't score speeches. And so we don't have anything substantive from the Democrats, and I take no pleasure in saying that. We're all Americans. I want us to get through this. I want us to just come through this. I identify as an American, not as a Republican, but there is a contrast in the amount of specifics that's been offered by each party. I hold it as an imperative that we need to come to an agreement that would provide for us to be able to pay our bills and honor the commitments that we've made as a country. I also hold it as an equal imperative that we've got to arrest the trajectory that we're on now, this fiscal path that we're on. The rating agencies, Standard & Poor's and Moody's, have both said that just approval of the debt limit is not in and of itself enough to ensure that we're not downgraded. So everyone is expecting, and we must require of ourselves as the American people, a plan that'll get us through this. I think the right solution to this entire problem is outlined in the framework that has been referred to as cut and cap and balance. Cut it means just cutting current spending by a reasonable amount. It's $111 billion is what we have put forth, and you remember I mentioned that our deficit this year is going to be over $1.5 trillion. So it's taking about 1/15, that's all. And you could even argue that's not enough, but 1/15 off the deficit for this year. And then capping spending as a percent of our gross domestic product, or our economy. I have very little confidence that Congress, unless forced to, through a balanced budget amendment, will actually do what is necessary to meet the obligation we have to the next generation of Americans, to pass on the blessings of freedom and liberty. And I do not use those words lightly. I mean, they are precious words that deeply moved me and other Americans. And I look at my granddaughter, Reese, and I look at Reese and I look at Parks and I think, we've got to meet our obligation, not just to them. This isn't just about my grandchildren. It's about every young person of every ethnicity in the 2nd District and across this great land. We have got to do what's right. It's a terrible environment. It's like trying to grow a seed in the wrong environment. And if you don't have the right environment, it's not going to grow. So that's why I've said that, you know, government can only create the right environment. It doesn't create jobs itself. And that's where we have a profound economic disagreement with our friends on the other side. They truly believe that more government spending leads to job creation. And I think history shows that that's not the right path.